good, everyone, and welcome back to Kaya's Commentary. And if you're new here, welcome to Kaya's Commentary. This is a podcast that offers commentary on pop culture topics, real world issues, anything in between, and maybe even some advice every now and then. Before we get down to it, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kaya R. Pennington, and you can follow Kaya's Commentary on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kaya's Commentary. Also, be sure to hit the follow/subscribe button and the bell so you get notified when new videos drop. Also, Happy New Year. It is officially 2024. And so with that in mind, let's kick it into our first segment, Wrap It Up, where I give my commentary on my top 5 Wrap It Ups. So often when the New Year's hit, people are happy to leave it in ... So this is my top 5 leave it in 2023. Coming in at number 5, the Pinkett Smith family. Now, I'm not saying leave them in 2023, but your think pieces, your discords, I want to see Will Smith and Chris Rock get together and chill out. Oh, I want to see the downfall of Jada Pinkett Smith. Oh, this about her. Oh, she's not the monster that y'all play her out. Oh, all of it. Wrap it up and leave it in 2023. Okay, they are living their best lives, and so if they like it, we love it. They are living their best lives. So whatever else they can drop, just say okay and keep it pushing. We don't continue. It's been 2 years since the slap heard around the world. It's been about 2 to 3 years since his own book came out. It's been a couple months since her book has come out. We don't need to continue think pieces. You don't have to have a public opinion about everything, okay? Wrap it up, leave it in 2023. If they like it, we love it. They live in their best lives. Wrap it up, leave it in 2023. Number 4, doing anything for clout. Why did I see a black person doing blackface? And the year of our Lord, 2024. Why did I see a black person doing blackface? Is that 15 minutes of fame, that 15 minutes to talk about the people doing think pieces on Twitter, only for them to forget about you in another week? Is it really worth it? Why are you doing blackface in 2024? Why are you sitting here harassing black women about a hairstyle that they're telling you is only going to make your hair fall out and did? Why are you doing these confrontational pranks and then when you get confronted, it's like, oh no, it's the camera, it's the camera. It don't matter. Run up, get done up. Go find an actual skill or hobby or talent to capitalize on. And honestly, not all your hobbies really need to be capitalized on. Like this, my podcast is just a hobby. If it take off, I ain't mad at it because bills to be paid, but it'll probably just stay a hobby. Go find an actual hobby or talent or skill to engage in to capitalize on, because going viral for 15 minutes of fame and then to be forgot about within another week or so, to have to sit here and come up with your next antic to the point that people are like, you know what, do whatever you gonna do. And I'm just like, is it really worth it? When you go in for job resumes or whatever and people see all this kind of stuff and they're like, yeah, no, or you have the wrong side of the internet laughing with you, is it worth it? Wrap it up and leave it in 2023. Go find an actual hobby, skill, or talent to actually capitalize on. Something that you can actually be proud of. Be serious. Wrap it up, leave it in 2023. Number 3, making interracial relationships your entire personality. For the love of God, humanity, all that is holy. Wrap it up and leave it in 2023. And this is just a fever dream because a lot of y'all just can't ever be normal. And I want to say here now, I don't care. I don't care who you date. Love is love is love is love is love. Go where the love is. I don't care. But when you make that your entire personality and then want to sit here and play victim and be like, it's us against the world, no one understands us, everyone is against us. No, you make it your entire personality. You make it a problem for people. I will never forget. I was in a Walmart. Mind y'all, I'm 10. I'm 10 at this time. 10. I am 10 at this time. And I'm standing in the checkout aisle because Walmart used to have checkout aisles. So I'm standing in the checkout aisle of Walmart, and this white woman and this black man, their hands all in each other's back pocket, just tonguing each other down in the checkout aisle of Walmart. You are in a public place where kids are, mind you, there's a literal child standing behind you. We get it. Y'all together. Real people, no one actually cares. You make people care and then want to sit here and be like, oh, it's us against the world. Be normal about it. Just be normal about it. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. And on that note, I'm gonna add two more onto to my number three. On that note, stop making dating in general your entire personality. Like sitting here, it will forever. I'm not gonna say it drives me, but it will forever just why, maybe even an ick, because like you post your significant other on social media and then you cover up their face. Who are you trying to prove? Why are you trying to prove to people on the internet that you got somebody, but not to the point where you actually show their face? Like, it's not that serious. Social media is not that real for y'all to sit here and post people on the internet, but cover up their face, but have their head turned. Like, what does that do? And if your significant other is like, hey, I'm not comfortable with you posting me, so I'd rather you cover up my face or whatever, just don't post them. Just don't post them. Like, wrap that up and leave it in 2023. And my last one for number three, stop coming to the internet telling everybody about your sex life. Like, I'm so tired of opening up Twitter, even sometimes Instagram. It rarely happens to me on TikTok, but Twitter and Instagram, and I mind y'all, I do not engage with this stuff for it to just constantly be on my page. I don't engage with it. But coming to the internet and telling people graphic details about your sex life. Now, I'm all for having spaces where we as people, especially as women, especially as queer people, especially as black women and black queer people, have spaces where you could talk about sexual exploitations, explorations, and what brings you pleasure and whatnot. Because I certainly don't want to sound like a prude, but just opening up the app and just graphic details of like you read an erotica, you open it up and it's basically just word porn. To me, that's just almost as bad as opening it up and it's actual porn, people on just hitting you in the face. Like, I am all for having spaces where you can openly and freely and without judgment have real conversations about sexual desires and whatnot, but just graphic details, for the love of God, wrap that up and leave it in 2023. Like, yeah, certain people shouldn't be on the internet at certain ages, but also, teenagers are on Twitter. Teenagers are on Instagram, and whether or not they are engaging in that does not mean they have to sit here and open it up for it to just pop into their face. Graphic detail, wrap it up, leave it in 2023. Number two, the Color Purple Discord. All of this, oh, it's a musical? Why is it a musical? Or why they got Suge and Celie doing all of this? Or I don't understand why you remaking such a traumatic slave movie. Like, y'all don't y'all want to sound like y'all a little intelligent, like y'all have a little bit of media literacy on the internet? Because y'all, this discourse shows that you don't. Like, you don't want to sound a little intelligent on the internet. You don't want to put in a little effort to do a little research. It clearly shows you didn't read the book. They were doing that in the book. Celia, they were messing around together. As far as it being a musical, you didn't see the interviews or the trailers where they're singing, the interviews where you have all these singers talking about it. Also, this is not a rebranding of the older version. This is the Broadway musical being brought to light, and the Broadway musical is more accurate to the book, I believe. So this idea that it's just a remake, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I was sitting here hesitant as to if I wanted to watch it, but not because, oh, it's a remake of this traumatic slave movie, but because I have this notion on certain pieces of media that if it's already wildly successful, why you gotta continuously capitalize on it? This is already a wildly successful Broadway stage play, like, in a book. So like, that was my initial thought. Like, I'm kind of over that thought, especially with this stupid discourse. I'm kind of over that thought. But acting like the other one, yes, it had trauma in it. Acting like it was just trauma porn, I feel like it's just disingenuous. Because like a whole lot of black women, a whole generation of black women didn't have beef with Danny Glover because he took a role that showed black men in a negative light. That whole generation had beef with Danny Glover because they saw their uncles, their brothers, their husbands, their cousins, their preachers in Mr. And so that's why they had it was relatable to them. They could see their experience in that. So I feel like it's disingenuous to act like this is just some slave trauma porn film. Regardless, wrap that kind of discourse up and leave it in 2023. If you don't want to see it, don't see it. If you tired of talking, but to sit here and continuously talk about it, but then be like, oh, I don't support it, I don't support it, but be it because of the creators who are involved in it now, or because you think it's some you know what the best way to show somebody that you're not involved in that, you don't care about the indifference. Don't talk about it. Wrap it up, leave it in 2023. And my number one, wrap it up, leave it in 2023. Stop posting your significant others weaponizing incompetence when all you're gonna do is defend them. Like I said, I am of two minds. One, you don't have to have a public opinion about everything. However, you also don't have to publicly post everything to be in this public opinion light. Like, you post somebody, your significant other, and they doing something that is obviously, very blatantly, I'm trying to get you to do this because I'm weaponizing incompetence. And then you gonna sit here and defend them. If you're gonna sit there and defend them, what did you post it for? You knew people were gonna have these kind of think pieces. So to sit here and be like, are y'all done yet? Or no, that's my spouse, that's my spouse, that's my spouse, and I'm gonna stand by. Why did you post it? You put yourself in that position where people are gonna have these think pieces and people are calling out, hey, like that might be abusive type of situation. Like, if all you gonna do is sit there and defend them, if you like it, we love it. But wrap it up and leave it in 2023. Don't bring your weaponizing incompetent significant other on my timeline and expect people to be like, oh, they truly do love you. Oh, couples goals. Like, what did you expect? Wrap it up, leave it in 2023. That's my top 5. With that, let's kick it into our next segment, What's on TV, where I give my commentary on a TV show I've seen. I've been doing a lot of TV shows this season, but during the strikes, that's really all I was watching, TV shows. You might get a couple more movies out of me or a book or something, but for the most part, this season is just dedicated to TV shows. And with that in mind, today's show is Netflix's First Kill. So it's about a vampire hunter. So it's a kind of like a teen-ish drama. It really put me in the mind of like some type of CW stuff, and I'm not mad at it at all. My stance on the CW has always been they were truly in their bag when they were focusing more on soapy teen dramas and supernatural dramas. But not to knock their superhero shows, but like they was in their bag when they had things like Nikita, when they had things like The Vampire Diaries in the early seasons, or Beauty and the Beast, or they was in their bag. Anyway, so it's a very campy vampire hunter sapphic enemies to lovers. So Juliet is a vampire who refuses to drink from human or have her first kill. Don't they always? Because always the main character is like, no, I can't drink from human blood. No, I'd rather drink from animals. I can't. Like, girl, this is what you are. You ain't gotta be out here just slicing, slinging, swoosh people, but like, this is what you are. I don't know why y'all sit here and be hating on what y'all are. Maybe this is me, a human standpoint, but that would be like me hating the fact that I'm human. Like, this is what you are. Like, get with the program. So because she refuses to drink from an actual human, she gets hazy when she's hungry. I mean, so she takes blood pills for that, but the blood pills don't work as much as they should, because it's like, you have to have your first kill at this point. You're of age now and your body is like, we want fresh from the vein. So her best black gay friend, I don't want to say that he is a stereotype, but my feelings were a little iffy on him. Like, he had his own storylines or whatever, but like, also his white mom is a part of the We Hate Vampire Club, and it's like, I don't know if she's his stepmom. We're gonna say she's his stepmom. I believe she's his stepmom. But like, anywho, he doesn't know that she's a vampire at first. He does find out later, and we'll come back to that. Calliope, Cal, she's a new girl, and Juliet has a huge crush on her, and Ben is like, girl, go for it, but she's scared. So they end up meeting at the same party, and they had this 7 minutes in heaven. Who still does that anymore? But okay, they have 7 minutes in heaven where Juliet becomes overcome with her feelings of lust and hunger, and she bites Cal. But Cal stakes her, and so we've been really focused on Juliet's side of the story, and this is where we kind of flip it and get Cal's side of the story. So she's a vampire hunter who is also yet to have her first kill. She almost had one, but then she balked, and either her mom or her brother had to bail her out. And so for that reason, they kind of tease her and won't really let her go on hunting trips anymore to really kind of prove herself, because that's what she wants to do, and they won't let her. So it's not for lack of trying. Another person ends up axed at the party, and so they think that, oh, this might be a vampire problem. Cal and her family think that it might be a vampire problem, but also it's like the person that was axed out didn't really go the way of a vampire, and so it's like, that's mysterious, something is going on. So we also find out that Juliet isn't dead, and now both, knowing what the other is, they have some type of feelings about that. But will that stop the growing desire? No, it will not. They very quickly give in to their passions and date despite their family's warnings, and it is not easy, especially when Juliet, her reckless older sister and mysterious brother. So her older sister, she very much embraces what it means to be a vampire, and she's very reckless about it. She's cautious, but at the same time reckless. And her older brother, he broke away from the family, so he's the black sheep, and so he's doing his own stuff. No one really even talks about him. And so it's like, oh, what is he up to? Also, Cal's family, they attack a vampire party, including injuring a few, and still Juliet and Cal remain. Like, they literally run off together at that party. It's supposed to be a party that brings Juliet into her coming of age. It's her coming of age party. And because it's like a gathering of a whole bunch of vampires, Cal's family attacks it, and they injure a few, but I don't believe they actually end up killing a few, because Juliet's family is special. They can't just die by a stake to the heart, right? And so a lot of these people who were born of Juliet's family, or some type of connection to the legacy family, it's not just a regular old stake to the heart. So it's only when the Council of Vampire Hunters start poking around that Juliet and Cal begin to crack. Also, we see that, and spoiler alerts, of course, we see that one of Cal's older brothers is killed, and we later find out by Jules' older sister. And so Cal is broken. She's like, oh my god, my brother is gone. Furthermore, when she finds out that Jules turned Cal, although she swears that he asked to be turned. So now the family is forced to, like, hey, we gotta put you down. But the mom, who is his adoptive mom, she's like way more protective of him than the dad, who is his biological dad. His dad is very much oh no, we gotta do what needs to be done. And the mom is like, that is my child. You're not gonna hurt my child. So she ends up freeing him and taking him to Jules' brother, and she's like, I need to be able to trust you. And he's like, yeah, of course you can trust me. And now Oliver, who is Jules' older brother, and his girlfriend, they're having like this monster convention in the back, and they scheme, and it's like, well, what are they gonna do? They're gonna take over the town? The town, now realizing, because this is a supernatural world, so of course monsters exist, only this time they actually know that monsters exist. And so half the town is like, oh, we want rid of the monsters, we want rid of the vampires, you know, it's borderline political. And so Jules and Cal, they do have a falling out after she finds out that her brother's a vampire and that Jules turned him, and she's like, no, you get away from me, go. So Cal sends Jules away. She ends up running, and then Cal also ends up running to or away Jules. We'll never know. Why? Why will we never know? Because Netflix canceled it. We'll also never know how Jules, her parents plan to explain her grandmother's death, because her grandmother died by her dad, and we don't know what happened with Jules or Cal's. And it's just like, there are so many unanswered questions. Oliver, his girlfriend, Theo, who was Cal's older brother that got turned. Monster Convention, what are they doing? Jules ended up turning her older sister into the police because she was like, you're the reason that her brother Theo is dead or was almost dead. So we like she clearly scheming. The parents in trouble with their own little council because it's like the mother was she was a high powered person and now she gone and it's like, oh, Jules' mom got to step into that place, but now questions have to like. But Netflix canceled it, so we'll never know any of the answers to those questions. Why? Why did they cancel it? Was it incredibly campy? Sure. Was the CGI horrible? Of course. Just awful, like, for sure, for sure. But was the storytelling and characters interesting enough to keep me sad? Yes. And personally, if the storytelling and characters are interesting enough, I don't need thousands of dollars to be poured into CGI. That's just me. Like, if the story is good, you could have creatures sitting here looking like they straight out of Xena Warrior Princess or X-Files or whatever. I don't care. You can have 90s styled CGI. I don't care because the storytelling and the characters are interesting enough. And honestly, it's Netflix. Like, y'all know y'all had the funds. If y'all really wanted to pull it up, y'all know y'all had the funds. And with all the crap that Netflix does renew, like, you know you could have renewed this. Like, you know you could have. It had a strong enough fan base. If you really wanted to, you could have found the dollars. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. First Kill was not that bad for people to just be like, for Netflix to be like, oh, no, one season, we're done. Like, it had a good cast. It was interesting enough. Like, I'm all for enemies to lovers. Vampire Hunter is my tea. It's my number one. The fact that it's sapphic, oh, I'm sad. The fact that it's a dark-skinned black woman who's the vampire hunter, like, sad. It didn't need to have all this extravagant CGI poured into it. Like, you could have found the money. Like, it was enjoyable enough. And my only ick is that I let this sit on my my list 2 years after it aired, knowing that it wasn't gonna get renewed and ended up liking it anyway. Like, that's my only ick, is that I sat there and waited. And it wasn't a purposeful wait. I just kept meaning to watch it and then I didn't. And then I found out that Netflix wasn't gonna renew it and it was like, dang, like. And then I ended up watching it and it was like, oh man, I really should have watched this earlier. Like, regardless, I guess it wasn't gonna do nothing because they canceled it. And it's like, if you really wanted to, you could have kept it going. Watching it now, knowing that it got no chances of a renewal, that sucks. No pun intended. But that sucks. Overall, 7.5 out of 10. CGI aside, I think the storytelling and the characters are interesting enough. I don't think there was anything just completely wrong with it. Like I said, my only ick is my personal behavior on the show when it first came out. Like, when it first came out, I immediately put it on my list and then just let it sit for 2 years. That's a failing on my part. Overall, 7.5 out of 10. With that, let's get into our third and final segment, To Whom It May Concern, where I just give a piece of commentary advice to whom it may concern. And honestly, we're gonna end this episode early because I'm already clocking it at 24 minutes. Like, wow, we ending this early, but it's okay. We've had a lot of long videos lately, and we'll have some more in the past. To whom it may concern, do not let that imposter syndrome or fear of missing out get you down. It's a new year, and with new years come resolutions, goals that you want to do. And so as I was thinking about my goals and my resolutions and what I really want to do for myself, and looking back on the things that I did in 2023, being like, okay, how can I continue to live my best life in 2024? FOMO and imposter syndrome hit me hard Monday evening. Like, it sucker punched me. And I had to really sit here and tell myself, like, I had to do a meditation and my affirmations and really sit here and breathe and be like, Kaya, do not get overwhelmed. And so because I'm feeling it, I just want y'all to know that if someone else is out there, if you're feeling it, one, you're not alone. And yes, I'm saying things that I'm sure anybody else has said to you, but seriously, take it slowly. Like I said about a week or so ago, do your daily affirmations, do your meditations, take it a day at a time. Do not sit here and let the thoughts of your ambitions, your goals start bullet train running you down. Like, take it slow. Steady wins the race. And I know that's like cliche, but steady wins the race. One day at a time. Do not sit here and let those thoughts of, oh, don't let them become, oh, how am I going to get here? How am I going to get there? Actually, I didn't think about that through. Like, you're not going to have all the answers as soon as the clock strikes 12, the new year. Take it slow. Do not let that imposter syndrome keep you from being the greatest that you can be. Don't let fear of missing out keep you from being where you want to be. You just don't look at the big picture. Look at it as a smaller sections of pictures, like a puzzle. And you're starting with the outside corners and then building your way in. And so by December 31st of 2024, you have a full complete puzzle, or you have a somewhat complete puzzle. But don't try to look at the whole puzzle and be like, I have to do this by January 2nd. Like, take it slow, breathe, one day at a time. Affirmations, meditations, it'll all build up, I promise you. I know that's all cliche, but like I said, I had to like reaffirm myself with this exact thought process, because FOMO and imposter syndrome hit me hard. I was good throughout the day on New Year's, and then in the evening, it hit me. It hit me like, oh my God, I'm an adult now. How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? Debts to be paid. Like, a day at a time. A day at a time. Create a calendar or a bingo card. I have a bingo card on Canva of my goals that I want to do, and just take a goal, look at it, and then break it down into even further pieces. This is what I'm going to do today. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow. This is how this goal is going to get complete. One day at a time. A puzzle. You're starting at the corners and working your way in. I hope that helps someone out there. This is just a little piece of to whom it may concern, because I'm feeling this way, and I just want anyone to know, if someone else out there feels this way, you're not feeling alone. But we must not crash in on ourselves. What is today? The 3rd? We must not crash in on ourselves 3 days into 2024. Take it slow, one day at a time. With that, that's to whom it may concern, and that's Kaya's commentary. If you like this episode, be sure to like this episode. Hit the thumbs up button, the follow/subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on any of the segments that I had in the comments down below. Be respectful. We can have a conversation with one another, but only if we are respectful. But certainly let me know any of your thoughts and your opinions on any of the segments that I had. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next week.